Well, I'm here with my friend, Dr. Michal Wilson, and I'm glad you're with us to talk about questions that I think you and I hear all the time. And we've heard these over and over, and we want to give some tools to helping people. And so the first one that I hear all the time are, what are some signs of a healthy marriage?
Thanks, Dan. It's good to be here with you as well. And yeah, what are signs of a healthy marriage? When I see a couple that is able to do things together, they have things in common, but they also have some separateness too, and they're okay with that. I think that's a sign of a healthy marriage. Either too little togetherness or too much separation is, I think, a recipe for conflict.
Yeah, I hear sometimes people say, I don't want to lose myself in a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, they really want closeness in a marriage.
Exactly.
And there's a little bit of this both,
Mm-hmm.
this back and forth of, I don't want to lose myself, but I want to feel really secure and close and like we're one.
Mm-hmm.
And so what are some signs you think of too much independence or too far from each other?
Yeah, that's definitely what happens is one or the other,
Right.
usually. And too much independence, I would say, where people are just going different directions and they have very little time to get together. They don't even set aside, say, like one evening a week
Right.
to, just spend time together, or maybe they aren't able to go to church together,
Right.
things like that. Just, common connection points that helps ground and center a relationship. And then I think too much time is when there's maybe some jealousy going on, and people don't want to let their spouse do anything without them, or if they do, they want to be in constant control of that. Because they're maybe worried about infidelity, or they're just insecure, they don't want to be alone, things like that. And I know those are extreme situations, but yeah, I think those are kind of the polar opposites.
And I think one of the ways I've seen that display itself, on one end, sometimes when people feel like I'm actually lonely in the marriage, when there's too much independence, or the other end is I feel controlled in the marriage.
Right.
And I think even for couples to go, I wonder which side we lean to. I either feel alone or I feel controlled. Those are hard questions to ask of ourselves, but any marriage can start going one of those directions at any time. And I'd say that especially the lonely one, I like to ask couples, what are you doing to protect the marriage? Whether it's time, energy, focus. I've had some people say, I get my spouse's leftovers. Right, so it's not protected. What are some other things you've seen maybe on the opposite end of there's a sense of feeling controlled, and it feels almost smothering a little bit?
Yeah. Well, we have these location trackers now, which are very helpful, but when they're misused, I think that it kind of crosses some boundaries and doesn't give people just the needed freedom to go about their day, or maybe they don't, when they're even in their own home, they don't feel like they can just be themselves. They feel monitored by their every move or their every word.
Right.
Those are situations where I think there's a little too much control going on.
Right. I've had some people say we have to have all the same hobbies. And I don't think that's healthy at all.
No.
But I think some people see that if you love me or if you're for me, you're going to agree that you like doing this thing with me. Versus there's some things we like to do together, but there's some things that are completely different, and you give that kind of space. And I would say part of that middle ground too is the give and take of responding to each other's needs. Like, I notice you need time by yourself in the mornings, or you need time to connect in the mornings. and being unique to that marriage, not just a formula kind of thing of actually I give and take, expressing my needs and then meeting the needs. One of the things I hear all the time is it's really hard for me to verbalize my needs in a marriage, even for people who've been married a long time. Why do you think that's so hard for people who've been married like 10, 20 years even?
Yeah. It probably goes back to like their family system that they came out of and what was allowed or not allowed in conversations. Or maybe they've been through something traumatic and, it's kind of shut them down.
Yep.
I think we see this in like first responders.
Absolutely.
Where they see things, and thankfully now there's a lot more support for them, where they get debriefed and are able to talk about the things that they saw or heard or whatever. But things like that can affect whether people feel okay to communicate their needs.
Yeah, I had a couple recently where the wife said, I didn't even know I needed to verbalize my needs. I just want to be happy with them. And the guy had a little like deer in the headlight look, like, I guess wrong a lot.
Yeah.
And so I said, what do you think your needs are this weekend in the marriage? And you thought I was speaking Russian, like a different language. She's like, I never thought of actually thinking, what are my needs this weekend, to verbalize them. And the husband was like, that would be great.
Yeah.
And that's hard because they're not used to it. Their family systems, their history, maybe cultural, usually you don't do that. I think for her culturally, like women don't verbalize their needs. They always help with this woman I was talking to. And that was definitely a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, that reminds me of how we all bring expectations into a relationship. And we often don't even realize what our expectations are. And one of the things I tell my clients is that an expectation isn't legitimate unless you've agreed upon it. So you can't expect another person to know what you want or what you need. Just even if you've been with them 20 years, they cannot read your mind.
Right.
So it's so important that we kind of evaluate, if we get disappointed, was I expecting something that I didn't let my spouse know?
Right. Yeah, I think often I've seen people have resentment for their spouses with unstated needs. Like, how come he doesn't or how come she doesn't? When they should know by now, especially if there's been a lot of history together. And so instead of going, I should look at myself and go, I struggle to verbalize, it's easier to almost blame and go, they should get it by now. They should know I kind of fill in the blank.
Right.
Even with simple things. I had a situation where I said to the wife, when you're stressed, do you want a hug from him? And she's like, yeah, but I would never say it. I would never say it. And so, and the guy's like, I would love for you to say it, because then I would know what my role is supposed to be in your stress.
Yeah, good point. I think things happen in marriages as well. Whether you've been married 1 year or 20 years, things happen that change us as individuals. And sometimes we don't account for that or give grace towards that. The death of a child makes a marriage very difficult because people grieve differently. And it's just difficult for them to understand one another in situations like that.
Yeah, I always recommend, and this is really hard for couples, this is where they sometimes need a therapist to meet with, is to look back and go, when that event happened, how did that affect us? So when our child moved off to college, or when our kid got suspended from school, or whatever the situation is in life, to go, hey, I wonder how that affected us. It affects them definitely separately as humans, but the relationship.
Yeah.
But I don't think a lot of couples go there.
Right.
Or you have the space to even go there.
Yeah. That makes me think about families that have children in sports, especially like more intense sporting activities like travel teams.
Yeah.
We were talking about, that's how we started, right? On things that help people keep couples together or can keep them apart. I think sporting activities in families' lives really needs to be carefully thought through. and the marriage needs to be protected, because we can allow the family system, the marriage, to revolve around a sporting activity or some type of activity, and kind of get the priorities out of whack, so to speak.
Right, and it can start off with good intentions. I'll help my kid thrive with a sport or whatever, but almost turn it into the identity of the family.
Right.
And the marriage homes can get forgotten in the middle of it all.
Exactly.